Hello there, Penguins of Penguin Army. My name is Chewy5 and welcome back to the F1 Roundup. Here in 2023, we are in Hungary. Very nearly at the the summer break, really. Yeah, Hungary Grand Prix, and wasn't it an interesting weekend? Third practice was topped by Lewis Hamilton, and that's sort of their theme for a certain session. Mercedes looked quite good this weekend, particularly in quali, or really good in quali for one driver, which we'll touch on later on. But yeah, another Grand Prix, but in the end was ultimately dominated by Max Verstappen as he got round a certain Mercedes, which we'll talk about in a bit, at the first corner, and then really wasn't phased for 69 laps. Not really many questions asked of him. He was about 30 seconds in the lead by the end. 33 seconds in the lead. He was over a minute ahead of 5th place. It's incredible dominance by Max Verstappen. And to be fair, credit to him, he is just driving really well. In the race, another driver who raced very well was Lando Norris, who, let's be real, is suddenly turned into a fantastic driver. Matt McLaren was a royal shitbox at the start of the season, but is looking unbelievable right now. Checo Perez looked back to his best, was really fighting back up the grid after not his best qualifying, but his best in recent months. Yeah, really thought the grid was really aggressive, really dominant. Looked a bit more like the Checo Perez of old, which was really, really good. Hamilton had a terrible start and went down to 4th and basically stayed there. Piastri did another great race. Race that was as high as second at one point after the first corner, after the pit stops Lando got him back, which was unusual to see the car behind get the undercut on his teammate. That was unusual, but yeah, another solid weekend for McLaren. Back-to-back second places for McLaren, first time in 11 years since Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton did it. But speaking of Hamilton, let's talk about qualifying. That man put that Mercedes on pole by about 0.003 of a second. Great job, Lewis. Great to see him back on there. Really good. It's good to see Hamilton up there. He is a really good role model for the sport. He's a fantastic driver. Verstappen second. Lando third. Another great showing from him. An even brilliant start from Piastri. Third and fourth for them. Then Zhou Guanyu, 5th in the Alfa Romeo, which is still a shitbox. Charles Leclerc in 6th in his Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas in 7th. Alonso in 8th. And that Aston Martin has struggled in recent weeks. If you think back to the first 6-7 races of the season, they were Aston second, fastest car on the grid. It's probably 4th at the moment. Because it's not as quick as Mercedes. It's not as quick as the McLaren. So yeah. Then Checo qualified 9th, which you can go on to Q3. Positives. Nico Hulkenberg again 10th. Carlos Sainz qualified 11th. Ocon 12th. Ricciardo, who is back replacing Nick de Vries, his first Grand Prix back. And to be fair, he showed some really positive signs getting out of Q1 in his after. He struggled a bit in the race, but that was sort of to be expected. And to be fair, he was caught in for first corner mayhem. But anyway, Lance Stroll 14th again, struggling. Pierre Gasly 15th, Albon 16th, Tsunoda 17th. Russell got caught up in traffic and qualified 18th. K-Mag 19th, who's having a bit of a disappointing season, truth be told, and Logie Bear in P20. But if you look at the images on your screen and now, you can sort of see that Gasly is about to go into Ocon. And that set up a bit of a trail reaction. So basically, Zhou Guanyu stalled. He had a terrible start and it caused a bit of a chain reaction. So if you think about the fact he qualified P5, and yet I can't even spot him. Yeah, he's behind Ocon in that picture. Yeah, and that set up a bit of a trail reaction where he got stuck, then went into Ricciardo, he went into Gasly, he went into Ocon. And unfortunately, both Alpines suffered terminal damage, and Ocon's seat actually broke in the race. Babe Dunph and then Logan Sargent DNF'd on lap 67. An uneventful Grand Prix, truth be told. It's not been a great season. It's just because Red Bull actually set a record, and Verstappen's won 7 in a row, but Red Bull have now won the record 12 races in a row. And had Mercedes not won in Brazil, would have won for pretty much a solid year straight. So yeah, it's been a bit of a bad time to be a Formula 1 fan, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's go through the race, actually. So, Ocon, Gasly, Sargent did not finish. K-Mag 17th. Shogun Yu 16th, who never recovered. He got a 5-second penalty, rightfully so. Yuki Tsunoda 15th, Hulkenberg 14th, Ricciardo 13th, he had a good recovery. Bottas 12th, Albon another solid performance. He's really outperforming that, Williams. Lance Stroll 10th, Alonso 9th, Carlos Sainz 8th, Charles Leclerc 7th, George Russell 6th, a brilliant drive from him, 12 places gained. Piastri 5th, Hamilton 4th, Perez 3rd, Lando Norris 2nd, Max Verstappen 1st. The only real disaster for Red Bull was the fact that Lando Norris accidentally broke Verstappen's trophy. Other than that, it was pretty much an easiest Grand Prix as you'll like for. I'd obviously like Checo Perez to get second, but he did very well to get back up there. And that is about it, because next week we go off to Belgium. And then that's it for a month. We've got no Grand Prix till Holland. And then the second half of the season will commence. So thank you so much for watching this episode of the F1 Roundup. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time with Belgium. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, see ya.